It's pedal to the metal at the new Bike Skills Park in Squamish. Watch where you're walking. Those kids are on a roll. And if biking isn't for your youngster, maybe art is. We've got the perfect kids camp to keep them busy this summer. Or maybe you're the one who's feeling creative. We'll show you how to spruce up your living space with your own painted pillows. It's all local, and it's all on this episode of Go Sea to Sky. Welcome to Go Sea to Sky, only on Shaw TV. I'm your host, Heather Butts, enjoying the beauty that is Whistler Village. But we're kicking off our show this week in Squamish. It's been named the #1 place to ride in Canada by Pedal Magazine. With hundreds of kilometers of trails and events, the options are endless for cycling enthusiasts. And now there's one more option. Designed and built by the Squamish Off-Road Cycling Association, the new technical Bike Skills Park at Brennan Park is a place for youngsters to test their skills before heading to the big trails. It's only been open a few weeks and it's already a big hit.
We built this bike park as a way for young kids to learn mountain biking skills in a nice, safe environment.
The options are endless. A theme park of sorts for young riders and outdoor enthusiasts.
We wanted to build a place where the kids could come and ride and learn the skills that they really need to, so that when they do build up the strength and endurance to get out on the real big trails, that they can do it in a safe way.
With one quick overview of the park, it's easy to see why so many young cyclists roll into this biking oasis for a little fun on two wheels. This is their turf.
My favorite one is that hill over there because you get to go down and then you do all those bumps right there.
Rolling hills ready for riders of any size. This is just one of the many features at the new Bike Skills Park in Squamish. Built on the grounds at Brennan Park, it's the perfect place for athletes to gain confidence, learn new skills, and have a little fun while in the comfort of a place designed just for them.
Yes, yes, oh yes! Yes! We have so many kids that are on run bikes, and between the ages of 3 and 10, we want to get them in the joy of riding, and this is what's great about this facility. It gets them out here having fun.
Named one of the best places to ride in Canada, Squamish has an extensive trail system, but this new skills park allows young riders to build a strong foundation without having to climb through tough conditions to get there.
I like the bike park because it's nice because everyone's there and you can always see your friends.
I like to practice here so then I learn stuff here so then I can do it on other trails.
Several years in the making, the volunteer community-oriented project, driven primarily by Sorka, wouldn't have been possible without the support of the District of Squamish and many local businesses.
It's so fulfilling to know that all the work that we put into it is going to such a great use. I've had so many parents come up to me and say this is one of their kids' most fun places to be.
Cruising through the windy forest path or challenging their technique while balanced on a bridge, the area simulates exactly what these riders will find when they venture beyond the park boundaries.
Take this pump track as an example. I mean, if a kid can get the skills of cornering and pumping their bikes, they're going to be that much more advanced in the trails once they get there. And actually, not just advanced, but they're going to have more fun on their bikes.
And fun is what this sport is all about.
I like riding my bike here because roads are very fun to go over, very fast.
On this afternoon, the area is swarming with young riders pedaling to their heart's delight, but it is open to everyone, though you might want to go once these young superstars have headed home for the night.
Now, doesn't that look like fun? Yes, it was designed for kids, but Sorka wants the entire community to get out and enjoy the park. And while it's all about riding on your own right now, keep your eyes peeled because there may be courses offered at the park in the future. Well, from athletes to artists, there's no shortage of stories to be told in the Sea to Sky corridor. But this week, our Vancouver reporter, Jen Moranitz, introduces us to a unique artistic author. Manga is a style of graphic novels created in Japan, and this Haida Gwaii artist is melding manga style with a traditional Haida story.
Once upon a time, this was a true story.
These soft watercolor paintings outlined in sharp black ink tell more than a visual story.
These works are all connected to oral narratives.
These images represent real accounts that happened in the northwest corner of British Columbia on the islands of Haida Gwaii.
Many of the stories we see about Indigenous peoples are almost like nursery stories. I mean, they're simplified down, they're made childlike, and I think there's a danger when we reduce something that is complex, that we think less of it.
Although these childlike parables serve a purpose, Haida artist Michael Nikolyaklonis wanted to tell a more realistic story, so he wrote and illustrated Red, a Haida manga.
This story is the story about a man who lived, and it's a story of revenge. I added to his story a story of a submarine, a Haida submarine that was built.
And to Michael's surprise, it's a tale his family is directly linked to.
It was actually our family, our lineage, that was the ones to sort of deal the blow to Red and basically end his violent leadership. Raises a question which I haven't answered. Would I have done the story differently or at all?
The first illustrations of Red spanned 5 meters.
And so this is the overall structure.
But Michael is all about making his work as accessible as possible, so it's been published in a 108-page comic book.
The beauty of a comic book is it allows us to control the speed of the narrative.
The comic style is known as manga, an art form that originates in Japan, which happens to be a culture Michael feels connected to.
Haida men would go over on sailing ships and spend some time ashore. And the stories they came back that lasted through the generations was Japan was extremely welcoming. The narrative here on this piece is really centered around this corporate symbol here.
Japanese imagery continues to appear in Michael's work. This symbol of the Tokyo Power Company, painted on the hood of a Japanese car, signifies the effects of the Fukushima nuclear disaster.
It raises the real important question of what do we do over here about what has happened over here?
We're very lucky to be living in a time when I think First Nations art on the west coast of Canada is developing into its, away from its historical roots somewhat, and becoming a much more contemporary.
But Michael focuses on more than contemporary art.
The artwork that I want to do, I want it to be about accessibility and emotional contact.
With Red, a Haida manga, it's all about sharing a true Haida Gwaii story with people of all backgrounds.
Michael is also an accomplished visual artist using mediums like paint and sculpture. To view his work, you can visit mny.ca. Well, if you'd like to see this story or one of our many other stories, they're all available online. Just visit youtube.com/WhistlerShaw. Go Sea to Sky, we're your local voice.
Coming up,
the food is very, very local. We have farmers trudging in here day in and day out.
we head to Pemberton to enjoy farm fresh food the organic way.
The following are proud supporters of community programming on Shaw TV.
Hairstyling and color services for Heather Butts are provided by The Loft Salon. TheLoftSalon.com.
Welcome back to the show. You're watching Go See the Sky only on Shaw TV. I'm your host, Heather Butts, enjoying Whistler Village. Well, as you can tell, summer is just around the corner, and while your kids may be eager to get out of class, you may be looking for a way to keep them busy. Well, here's an idea for you. The Whistler Arts Council offers several different artistic workshops for children year-round. Here's a sneak peek at one of their kids-only classes.
A blank page is where it all begins. Simple guidelines and encouragement, but no concrete rules.
It's about thinking out of the box and being able to create their own creations from their own journeys.
Prepping their work area, their imaginations are already racing. Even the instructor is excited to see what these youngsters will create, given the freedom to do what they want. That's why Lena Mawson chooses to teach children.
Now, I brought art class in a bag. It's just a really great environment to be able to help them with different techniques and let them explore different colors. Today's theme is going to be, I think we should call it like spring fling.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Okay.
Mawson runs some of the many art workshops offered through the Whistler Arts Council. Her classes always begin here, on the carpet, where the young artists can speak freely of what they want to create, helping one another with ideas and expanding their imagination.
Yeah.
But you could have a snowy field yard with like a crocus coming up from the snow.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
I think that just by talking about what we're looking at creating today, it gets their minds flowing and in a direction where I don't have to actually lead them. They can take their minds in their own directions and come up with something totally different.
That is as far as the formal lesson plan goes. From here, students create from scratch as free spirits.
My classes aren't structured. It's more of a be creative and be who you are, which is also my mantra for them as they go through life.
Splashes of bright color and unique brush strokes. They see it simply as painting, but their instructor hopes the underlying lessons will stay with them, with or without a brush in hand.
At the end of class, we'll take a look at everybody's and we'll be able to see, and they'll be able to see, that we all started off with sort of the same idea, but we all went off in different directions. And that's what I'm hoping that they do in their lives as well.
Art lends a support to the creative mind, something Mawson knows firsthand and wants others to discover. Crafting with students helped her get through 6 long years of an adoption process. But when her daughter finally arrived, it added even more color to a passion she already had.
It just brings joy that she's able to have all the tools she needs to put together her own little piece of work. And it will never be criticized. It would always be honored. It's amazing to watch her work.
Crafting in workshops run by the Whistler Arts Council, these young creators are supported and encouraged to work together, but remain as individuals, remain creative and self-expressive.
Putting their thoughts on paper and using all different types of media to do that gives them the free expression that I think kids need and deserve nowadays.
The Whistler Arts Council also offers a variety of classes and workshops for adults as well. Just visit artswhistler.com for more details. We're heading to Pemberton for our next story. Nestled in the heart of the town, you'll find a unique restaurant filled with tantalizing aroma and a welcoming charm. Solfeggio offers a variety of dishes, all made with 100% local organic ingredients. And the restaurateur inside is an Olympian. Have a look.
This is exactly the look and so much more. Really, you know, it came together quite organically, of course, like the food.
A warm, welcoming atmosphere mixed with a comfortable rustic tone. This unique restaurant in Pemberton is simply inviting.
Things just kind of came into our lives that we needed, and we pulled out, you know, driftwood from the Lillooet Lake, things like that. It's just absolutely perfect.
It's a natural fit for Olympian Christy Richards, who retired from freestyle mogul skiing in 2012. After 10 years on Team Canada and 12 World Cup medals under her belt, it was time to make another childhood dream come true. Together with her fiancé, professional skier Mark Abma, they created Solfeggio.
The meaning is the ancient harmonic scale. So it's actually a musical scale that has healing notes and healing frequencies. So hence I took that word as one explanation of what we're trying to do here.
From rustic wood tables Abma made from old pallets to salvage materials from a family home. From the setting to the ingredients themselves, Solfeggio is 100% organic. The goal is to create healing food that resonates with yourself and your body.
The food is very, very local. We have farmers trudging in here day in and day out with their fresh kale and beets and carrots, you know, the beautiful produce that is grown here in the soils of Pemberton.
Healthy and delicious, Chef Erica Fisher works with what she's given from local farmers to create dishes rich with organic flavor like the Moroccan stew. Simmering on the stovetop, it's the source of the tantalizing aroma that fills the restaurant.
We've got some local root vegetables in there, some carrots and parsnips, celery, sweet potatoes, and again kind of using Moroccan spices. So we've got some raw cacao, which is again really good for you.
A perfect blend of warming flavors, all nutrient-rich. Or you could try something lighter, homemade hummus, raw crackers, and falafels on a unique share plate.
We do this raw tabbouleh, which is really cool. Instead of using like a couscous or a grain, we actually pulse up raw cauliflower.
Solfeggio's menu stems not only from available produce, it's powered by Richard's holistic nutrition and athletic background. But healthy doesn't mean you must forego dessert. Here, it's guilt-free.
They incorporate a lot of superfoods and cater to a lot of the dietary needs like raw diets, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, everything like that. So the treats are definitely one of our specialties.
Nestled in the quiet town of Pemberton, some may consider it off the beaten path, but not when it comes to sustainability, another important aspect of a healthy diet and business.
For me, it was about placing the restaurant as close to the farms as I possibly could. You know, this is a hub for those farms. So if we can bring it in here and give that to the community, that's really, really what I want.
Mixing a passion for health and wellness with a love of food and flavor, her dream has become a reality. She may be retired from mogul skiing, but this new adventure is nothing short of a podium finish for this Olympian.
I would be lying to say that it's not going to be hard to sit on the sidelines, but at the same time, I am so fulfilled with the passions that I'm now pursuing. This restaurant, you know, I love being here and love giving that beautiful food to people.
Solfeggio is open Wednesday to Saturday for lunch and dinners, and on Sundays for brunch from 10 till 2. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Go Sea to Sky. We'd love to hear from you. Perhaps you have a comment about our show, an event you'd like to tell us about, or a story you'd like to share. Visit us on Facebook at facebook.com/Go Sea to Sky.
Later in the show,
so I thought we'd do a tulip because it's spring.
Adding a fresh look to your home with painted pillows created by you.
The following are proud supporters of community programming on Shaw TV.
Heather Butt's wardrobe is fitted by Peak Performance. PeakPerformance.com.
Welcome back to Go Sea to Sky, only on Shaw TV. I'm your host, Heather Butts, and it's time for this week's edition of Go Listen. Hannah Walker and Jamie Elliott have combined to form folk duo Twin Bandit. Our Paul McClellan met up with them for an interview and some songs at the location where they first met, volunteering at St. James Music Academy in East Van.
Today we are filming at St. James Anglican Church right on Cordova and Gore. This is the first place that Jamie and I ever met together. We were working at the St. James Music Academy. and we fell in love at first sight.
And so that love blossomed into what exactly?
That love blossomed into what is known as Twin Bandit. We've been playing shows together now for about a year. Wait for me, can't you see? It's a little bit generic, but in the truest sense, we write a lot about love and loss. I think that's what a lot of young 20-year-olds are writing about. Heartbreak and jealousy, anger.
You guys have a lot of experience with all those issues.
There's a little bit of experience. I want to say some of it is a dramatic enactment. You take true feelings and then you write stories about them. That's how I like to do it. Kindest of eyes, and in the morning I would rise just to see them. Wait for me.
You guys are called Twin Bandit. Beautiful harmonies, you work together so well. Is the name, I guess, representative of how you guys are able to work so well in sync?
We liked it originally because twins are so in sync, as you say, and they are able to connect on a certain level that we feel like we are able to do. Strangely enough, when we first met, we really connected on a deeper level.
So then are you bandits also?
We like to think so.
You guys actually teach seminars for singing. I mean, what kind of experience do you guys have as far as music previously before coming together?
I've been singing my whole life and playing music on stage for about 10 years almost now. And to have more people than just your family and friends, which is wonderful in its own right, but to have it expand a bit, it's really nice. I grew up with 4 younger sisters, if you can believe that, and my parents never allowed us to listen to music on the road, so we had to learn to sing together and harmonize, and so I spent every day singing with my sisters. I love it. I do it in the shower, I do it at the dinner table, I do it when I'm walking down the sidewalk. But I also did some choral training at this very church that we're filming today when I was younger for a while. And I've done a lot of gigging as well.
You guys don't have any recordings out just yet, but what's sort of in the works? Should we expect something from you guys soon?
Yeah, we hope so. Jamie and I have been meeting with Network, and we're trying to collaborate together to make a record sometime soon. Darling, say you'll be true.
To keep track of them and their upcoming recordings, visit twinbandit.com. At St. James Church, I'm Paul McClellan for Shaw TV.
Well, be sure to check out facebook.com/twinbandit for more music and a few performance dates. Well, with the arrival of spring, you may be feeling the need to freshen up your home and perhaps add a few new pieces. There are many artists and local boutiques in the Sea to Sky corridor that can help you with that, including Stitch and Paint Whistler. Typically, Mary Jane does all the painting and sewing herself, adding a little wilderness and wildlife to your living space. But on today's show, she's teaching us how to be crafty and creative all on our own. Spring has sprung and it is time to spruce up your living area, and why not do it with a hand-painted pillow that you can do yourself. And Mary Jane of Stitch and Paint Whistler, you have some beautiful pieces. I love them.
Thank you, Heather.
But you're going to show us how we can paint our own pillowcase today.
Yes, I am.
And we're doing a tulip.
Yes, so I thought we'd do a tulip because it's spring, and I have just the perfect tulip to show you. It's nice and easy. We have some nice colors here. We have the red and we have the yellow, and we're going to mix those together and make a little bit of orange.
Okay.
The different paints that I have, you can get these paints pretty much anywhere.
So you're just using basic acrylic paints?
Yeah.
And you're mixing it with one important compound, basically?
That's right, and it's a fabric fixative, and you can get this pretty much anywhere. Okay. It's a fabric painting medium.
Great. All right, well, let's get started, Mary Jane.
Okay, sounds good. We're going to mix our red paint with our fabric fixative like this. All right. And try and center your design in the middle here and a couple of inches from the top because we're going to have a seam here.
Great.
So we're just going to go straight on top like this and put our top of tulip like this. We're going to just do the top of the oval for now, and then we're going to take a little bit of yellow. Now the yellow is actually going to go on top of the red.
All right.
And when it goes on top, it's going to mix and make this slightly orange tone.
Beautiful.
Like this. And then we're going to bring this round like this and make a little teardrop shape. Just like that.
I see. So that's one of the petals of the tulips.
That's right. So we're just going
You make this look
around.
so easy.
These shapes are so basic though, I think pretty much anyone can do them. Yeah.
And what is the best fabric to use?
Well, here I'm using a cotton canvas, and usually it's the best type of thing to use is something that's natural.
All right.
So now we're just going to take a little bit of red, and we're going to just go over on the one side like this and bring it down a little bit like this.
And blending them you can do at your own pace, really, if you want your tulip to look more red, more orange, more yellow.
That's right. Just whatever feels right. That's what's fun about this. Now we're going to take a little tiny bit of white.
And adding the white is going to do what?
Well, what we want to do is highlight the tip of the petal here so that we get a nice contrast.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay. And we just want to blend that over this way. So
Great.
now we're going to go back to our yellow. So here we're just basically going to go right over top of both of them. And you can do a little bit of shaping here if you want, just to make the petal look a little bit more natural. And then just bring this round almost to like a love heart shape. And just quickly fill in that spot.
So it's 4 simple shapes, really. We sort of had our,
That's right.
our half circle on the top, our teardrops on the side.
That's right.
And then we have our basically heart overlapping.
That's right.
All 3.
So here we have, this is a nice leaf green. And again, I'm mixing it with the fabric fixative. I've taken a slightly thinner brush, and I'm basically going to draw a straight line down.
Okay.
Just like that.
One straight line, one beautiful stem.
And then at the top, you're going to just bring a tiny bit of the dark underneath the tulip to give it that look like it's actually holding the tulip.
Okay.
Here I've actually
gone ahead a few steps.
Yeah, I've got the tulip here, and I've drawn in a couple of leaves here for you to see. I'm going to basically do this, follow a couple of my markings. You can again get a pencil and just draw in leaves pretty much wherever you feel like it.
Okay.
Here we are going, just filling in the shape that I had drawn here. A nice thick brush will make it go nice and quickly. And I like the flat brushes because you can get a nice straight line. As you can see when I go around like this, and I can also get into corners. This leaf here is joining this stem.
Right.
And once again, we're going to get our red paint, and then we're just going to do the same thing. This time you're going to make your tulip just a tiny bit smaller, and we're going to do a full oval here. And then of course, if you want to, you can just spend a little bit more time making sure that you dab the paint in on your edges a bit more. So here we can take our yellow, and we're going to do the same thing, make a little teardrop, but maybe not so big.
Okay.
Like this.
And so Mary Jane, once you're done, once you've finished, you're painting, you're pleased with it, do you have to do anything? Do you iron it to sort of have the painting set in?
Yes, definitely. It's a very important step that you mustn't miss.
Okay.
Because when you wash it, then you're going to end up with paint perhaps leaking onto the rest of your fabric, and you really don't want that.
And when we're ironing, are we just ironing straight on the painting, or?
I suggest that you take a little bit of white cotton fabric and put it over the top, and then use this hot steam iron on top and just let it sit there for a couple of seconds.
Okay, and you end up with something as beautiful as this, and every one can look a little bit different because they're your own unique hand-painted pillow.
That's right, and it really doesn't matter. In fact, it adds to the fun and the style of the room.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for showing us how to make these.
Oh, you're very welcome.
I know what you're thinking. It looks good because she's an artist, but just give it a try. Though I would recommend practicing on paper before hitting the fabric. And of course, you can always visit stitchandpaintwhistler.com for a little inspiration. Well, that does it for this episode of Go Sea to Sky. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.